It feels very bizarre to me that we are on the penultimate episode of Bocchi the Rock, but we are. It's Romania Black, and yeah, we're on episode 11 of Bocchi the Rock. Next week is the season finale. I'm not ready for it by any stretch of the imagination, but it's gonna be here. So what do we do? So the one good thing that I do feel good about is knowing there's a season 2, because I would be really sad if this was going to be like just a one season manga bait type of show. But knock on wood, I'm glad that that's not seeming the case and that they are making a season 2. And it may take a while for season 2 to get here, but that's fine. I'm okay with that. I am not the type of person that I talked about this on Discord with another show last week, and I was like, I honestly, it bugs me getting on Twitter and getting on social media and seeing people being like, why don't they just hurry up? And I'm like, animation takes time. People pouring their heart and soul into crafting you a piece of artwork takes time. So I know TikTok brain is real for some people, but I'm like, let's maybe be patient and let them cook and then enjoy it when it comes out. Like, that'll make it even sweeter when you've waited that time and you get a good product. The last thing I want them to do is to rush and it look like shit. So it's just like, it bugs me. But I'm happy to wait for Bocchi to come out. I know it's been a couple years, but whatever it takes to make a quality production, I'm here for it. So I'll wait as long as we need to. But anyway, so we're on episode 11. Bocchi has been signed up for her band to perform on day 2 of the Culture Festival. So the question is, are we going to get day 1 in the penultimate episode because it seems like they can't find Bocchi, or are we already on day 2? I guess we'll find out. I think you could do it where today is day 1, the first day of the Culture Festival, and then the season finale is the day that they perform. But we could go ahead and just be skyrocketing to day 2, and then we're trying to figure out where Bocchi is and get her ready, and then perform next episode, or maybe they perform this episode and next episode's the resolution. I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, but I'm pretty excited, honestly. So I've got a couple comments I want to talk about before we dive into this episode. Michael Gulick 8166 for episode 8 says, a couple of little fun details. You mentioned how Heroi was just chilling like Yoda during the concert, but I love how right before Bocchi kicked off her improvised solo, there's a quick shot of Heroi's eyes opening. She knew exactly what Bocchi was about to do, and she was ready to see her rock. Yes, that's our mentor character. And after last episode, when she compared herself a lot to Bocchi, that makes a lot more sense. Also, right after they finish the That Band song, the shot shows the clear skies over Starry. Just as Bocchi's fans said, she did a performance powerful enough to blow the typhoon away. Oh, I love that. That's so good. Bocchi is powerful enough to change the weather. We hath established that. Douglas 1 says for episode 8, and Kaguya 6900 mentioned this as well, but I'll get to their comment down below here in a second. Speaking of Nijika paying attention to Bocchi's preferences, when the girls were at the restaurant ordering food, Nijika asked Bocchi what she would like to order, and immediately said she was thinking of ordering karage, to which Bocchi replied, that sounds good. Back when the girls were visiting Bocchi's house, her mom managed to snap her out of one of her episodes with a plate of karage that Bocchi's father had made. So once again, Nijika realized there was one of Bocchi's comfort foods and decided to order it to snap her out of her episode again. We all need a friend like we need a friend like Nijika. We just do. Everybody needs a friend like Nijika. Nijika's amazing. I love her. She can do no wrong. That's such a great comment to note on. And then Kaguya 6900 to add on to that, they kind of talked about the same thing, but they also added, this episode closes out the first volume of Bocchi the Rock. That was 8 episodes in. So 1 volume of the manga was covered by 8 episodes? That is wild. Usually a volume covers like 3 or 4, so to do twice as much is wild to me. I have played the Japanese Game of Life, and it's far more complicated than the US version, but it may be more popular in Japan than it has been in America. I don't know. I feel like the Game of Life was super popular in the 80s, I inherited a lot from my aunt, who's 8 years older than me, and she grew up in the 80s and I grew up in the 90s. And I remember that the Game of Life was really popular in the 80s, but I kind of want to see the Japan Game of Life now, because I'm like, it's more complicated. I kind of want to see that, so I might have to look that up later, but thank you for the comment. And then finally, Zikutar the Immortal for episode 9 says, the bird attack is another End of Evangelion scene. Only instead of ripping someone to shreds, it cuts the other anime reference. I didn't realize that it was an Eva reference until you said that, and then I immediately had to go back and look at that clip from End of Evangelion and was like, oh, it is! It really is! So, all the references in Bocchi the Rock are just absolutely amazing, and I love them. So that's that. But anyway, I'm super excited for this episode. It's episode 11. It's the penultimate episode. We still have the season finale next week, but I want to see what our girl is going to be doing. So I've got coffee. I'm ready to go. It's ridiculously hot outside, so I am staying inside to not burn to a crisp. But with that being said, we are not going to waste any more time. Thank you all so much for your support and kind words, but we are going to start Bocchi the Rock episode 11, and we're going to do that here in 3, 2, 1, and I'll see you all on the other side. I'm honestly surprised because I thought we were not going to get them on stage this episode. I really truthfully thought that this episode was going to be one of two things. It was either going to be day one of the festival, and it was going to be like them running around and doing day one activities, because they made a big point about the maid cafe and how Bocchi was not looking forward to it. So I thought it was going to be that, or I thought we were going to cut immediately to day two after like a montage of day one. And it was going to be basically Bocchi being scared and not wanting to get on stage, and then trying to have to like talk her through it. And that was only because of like where episode 10 ended with Kita looking for her. And they decided not to do that. This episode was actually a pretty cohesive, like, okay, we can do this. And I'm like, but where's the hitch? Or is there a hitch? Are things going to go well next episode? And, you know, the concert where they messed up, it's not going to be a repeat of that. They're actually going to pull it off. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to go next week. It's kind of crazy, right? I don't know what we're going to get, but I'm really excited about it. So I love a good culture festival. I love a good culture festival. I come from a very small rural school. We don't have a football team or anything. We had a basketball team. So we always did homecoming in like January, because that was like the height of basketball season is like January, February. And then it ends. And then you get into baseball and all of that. But we always had our homecoming in like December or January, and it was always like, you had like Spirit Week, where each of the classes, because you had your freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors, every class would get like a corner of them gymnasium they could decorate, and we would do themes. We'd have like, I'm from a very rural area, so we'd have like Barnyard Olympics, which would be like stacking hay and doing like wheelbarrow races. I wish I was joking, but I'm not. And we would do like stuff like that for Spirit Week, and we'd do like stuff in PE and things, but we didn't have like a culture festival. I think the idea of a culture festival and every class doing an activity or a fundraiser is really cool. Now, my class and several classes before and after me for several years, we did do a haunted house, right? I think probably the mid-aughts we stopped doing it because it was kind of like a safety issue. But we did do a haunted house, but it was always around Halloween. And we, my class actually did it. We had an abandoned funeral home that the guy that owned it, his son was in the class ahead of us, and he donated us the space. So we had our haunted house in an abandoned funeral home that was like 2 stories. It was like an old house that had been a funeral home at one time. It was the perfect haunted house. It was amazing. It was so good. But yes, that was a haunted house. So I love a good class haunted house. It's really fun. And I like that this was like the haunted hospital. The haunted hospital is such a good idea because the classroom environment kind of has a clinical feel to it, like a hospital. So that was a smart decision. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, I miss a culture festival. Like all the booths, all the food, the fact that like people from out of, outside of school can come, like parents and other classmates can come and visit. Like that's kind of cool. I mean, in this modern day and age in the United States, you need like so much security detail, but it's still such a cool concept. I love it. And I like that like they have like the cards that are tore up above it. It's super neat. Like it's absolutely a total event. And they have like a map showing where all you can go here. Like it's wild. An entire school of Ikuyos. What is Ikuyo? I want to know. Oh, of Kitas. Oh, an entire school of Kitas. Oh my God, because they're all so enthusiastic about it. So there's like a sumo club ring experience. What else do they talk about? There was that. The maid cafe. That's really funny. So they go in. I love Rio's outfit. Rio's outfit it's a jumper. It's shorts. It's like a one piece with like the collar and I want that. I want what Rio's wearing with the white blazer. Hell yes, I want that. That's amazing. I have a white fringe jacket. If I cosplayed as Rio next week, I could do the white fringe jacket and the red shirt over the top of it with the wig. I could do that. Might have to think about that for next week. I want to cosplay as Rio next week because it's the last episode. I also thought about getting the cosplay for Kukui, but that might be something for season 2 to cosplay as her or Bocchi. But yeah, I love the maid cafe and poor Bocchi. I wanted Najika, when the friends said that Bocchi had ran off, I wanted Najika to kind of defend Bocchi and say, well, that's just kind of how she is. Because they were like, well, we wish she could have told us if she didn't want to do it. I mean, the friends, they're not being mean to her. They're like being nice and saying, we wouldn't have pushed her if we knew. But it's kind of one of those things like, well, I wish that they had like kind of explained a little bit, but maybe it's not their place to do that. You think running around the school as a maid would be even more embarrassing. But they go to find her. She's not in her normal spots. They're like, should we go check the bathroom? And then I like that Kita she's like, breaking, learning about the top secret ecosystem of Hitori Goto. I like that Darwin Kita, and they're all like in little safari outfits, Rio and Najika are. I think that's so cute. Also, if you're shipping Kita with Bocchi, it seems only natural that she would be the one to go look for them. Right, I love it. I also like that Rio is known for wanting sleeves. Like she has sleeves for her outfits, and the butler outfit, and even the little safari outfit they have has sleeves as well. It's like, human, no. She wouldn't go to a bathroom because there's too many people around. And then like all of the molecules and the bacteria are all Bocchi themed. It has to be damp and depressing. The kind of ecosystem where one might find slugs. Like beneath a rock, perchance. I want that little felt Bocchi rock with the teardrops. I want that. I need that. That little felt rock Bocchi with the tiny tears and the little tiny hair like ponytail. I need that. I need that in my life. I don't know if they sell those, but I need it. Oh my God. Meanwhile, she's passed outside. She's passed out outside by the doorway in her maid costume. Poor Bocchi. She's like, if only I had the right mangoes box. And then she says, welcome home. Like you're coming home into the room. And so then she talks about needing escapism. So she wants to go back to her page because the online world is a retreat. It is escapism. It's getting away from reality. And she's like, I'll just check and see how my page is doing. So at first, it says like 3 days ago, thanks for the upload. I can't wait for the next vid. 5 days ago, are you self-taught? It's amazing you got this good like that. You must have worked hard. And a week ago, been watching from the start, as usual, jealous of your talent. So it's at least been a couple days to a week before she's been on. Then it says a week ago, wow, new content at last. One of my fave songs too. Thanks so much. How'd your view count get so crazy so quick? Guitar Hero's been found by the world at last. I watch a lot of cover videos and you're the best of them all. So it's only been a couple of videos, like a couple weeks since her last video. And when she says my comment section is the nicest place in the world, I'm like, oh girl, that's until you get a lot of viewers and then it starts to populate with the ones that come in, because I know what girl is meaning. Because then she said every single comment is kind, and then there's one says, did she drop her channel? I might have to unsubscribe. Guitar Hero's dead, I guess. And she's like, oh no. Like, oh no, what am I going to do? She's like, crud. If I don't upload my video, my online home, I'll lose it. So I don't know if they're going to touch base on it next episode as we're rounding out season 1, because I thought they were going to touch upon it this episode. I thought, honestly, for a hot second, that it was going to come out in this episode, that she's Guitar Hero and Najika was going to tell the others about it and that was going to tie in. But that could happen next week, so I guess we'll find out then. I don't know. I thought it was going to happen then, but I don't know, y'all. But then we have the introduction. Yeah. So I wondered if this episode she was going to try to go back home and try to like upload something. This title is called Duodecimal Sunset. And so duodecimal is relating to or denoting a system of counting or numerical notation that has a 12 at the base. Why is it called this? Why is this episode called that? It's a finger counting based on the knuckle bones and 4 fingers, 4 larger fingers. Does it have any other particular meanings? Several authors. There's transdecimal symbols. Interesting. I wonder why it's called that. I want to say duodecimal sunset. Is there any reason why it's called that? I wondered if there's any trivia or something. I don't usually get on the wiki pages or anything, but I just want to know if there's anything about the notes. I don't want to look at anything that's a spoiler. I don't know. I'm sure I don't want to look at spoilers, so I'm not going to get too crazy into it, but I'm sure you all in the comments will tell me what duodecimal sunset means, and I'll just have to note that. But yeah, she's like, when was the last time I've uploaded last? I've been so busy, I hadn't even thought about it. I had thought that she had uploaded back when she didn't want to go outside to visit her friends over the summer, but that could have been a while ago. So, you know, it still could have been at least a week, you know. I'll have to put something up the minute the culture festival's over. Yeah, I hate that for her, because it really honestly, like, that her what she just experienced in reading those comments is literally my worst fear, because it's like I worried about that. Like when I went on vacation, I was like, when I come back, is everybody going to be gone? Like I had that same Bocchi like freak out moment, because it's, you know, you cultivate a community and an environment online, and you've spent, you know, this is my 5th years in that environment. And so then you always worry, like, if you're gone, are people just going to like get up and walk away? And you're like, hey, we're still talking about all these shows, right? And then it is a constant fear. So I related to Bocchi in that moment. I felt for her. But yeah, I like that Najika and Rio and Kita, when you see them, they have like leaves and mud and stuff all over them. Like they've been looking for her, trying to find her. And then Kita's like, see, I told you. Look in the place with the trash and everything. So they bring her back, and we're going to get the set band list all together, but we have October 2nd, their chorus club opening. So I guess, yeah, because summer ended back in August, early September, so it has been a while. Like they have been practicing. But yeah, it looks like they are the 4th band to go, which is that's a good, strong place to be. You're not last, but you're not first. It's all right. I'm still not over this culture festival layout, like all the different floors and different rooms and things. It's just kind of wild. There's so much going on. And the streamers, this entire environment is very overstimulating in this school. There's a lot of stuff all over the place. I would feel very overstimulated. And they're like, well, let's take a day to enjoy the culture festival. And I like that Bocchi establishes, she's like, Kita would enjoy all of this. She's like, I've never enjoyed a school event. But here's the thing that she comes to notice as they're walking around. Doing it by yourself is a lot different than going to a culture festival with a group of people. Because I have noticed, if you're an introvert, I'm naturally an introvert, but I have noticed that when you go with a group of people, it's a lot better because the focus isn't always on you. And if you need to step back for a second and disassociate, you can just people watch, and you can just let your friends take the lead, and you can follow them. And the pressure's not always on you to make a decision or do something. You just kind of join in the group and have fun with the group. And if you need to disassociate, you can. It's not a bad deal at all. So I think that Bocchi starts to find that out as she's, with her band, that it is a lot more fun when you're with a group because the attention's not always on you and you can kind of sit back and enjoy without that pressure. And I think she's also a big fan of it because, the longer she hangs out with them and goes to the culture festival, the less time she has to spend in the maid cafe, which I expected her classmates to be a little bit more angry at her for disappearing, but they were actually really kosher about it. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Also, I love that Kita and Rio get super nervous at the haunted house and scared. And then Bocchi's just shocked out of her mind. And Rio's like, is this all you got? Their different reactions are great. And so then they go and have crepes. The handmade crepes, that chocolate crepe, I cannot have chocolate because I'm allergic to cocoa. It looks amazing though. Also, I love that whenever they're going throughout this episode, all the other people walking around are black and white. So you're not distracted by them, which is great. Also, I love that they get the crepe and Rio doesn't have the money, so she wins the games instead. Classic Rio. I'm wondering who drew the Bocchi that looks terrifying or if Bocchi drew that herself. What the fudge? That does look like Bocchi. And then Najika wins the one game and gets the economy size, prize. She's like, doing the cultural festival as a group is actually pretty fun. Mm-hmm. I love that. That's super cute. So yeah, I love Rio has the cat balloon and the mask. Rio's standing on the precipice overlooking the rest of the school. I've conquered this culture festival. She just looks like she's having a pretty good time. And then Bocchi works up the courage to go, where do we go next? Which also, they clock her by her not wanting to go back. The animation on her face, the longer we mess around, the later I get to go back to the maid cafe. I don't know what animation style is Bocchi's face. I feel like I should know. I'm assuming you all are going to tell me in the comments what that animation is referencing, but that's hilarious. Anytime Bocchi is imitating something else, it's really funny. So yeah, they go back to the maid cafe where these two girls have been working, and Bocchi is stuck outside greeting people. She's not looking them in the eye at all, though. Rio clocks it that she just passed out on her feet. Then there's these random post-apocalyptic, what do they call them? Apocalyptic, dystopian, post-apocalyptic hooligans that look like they're straight out of Yu Yu Hakusho, just showing up here what the fudge. And my favorite gag of the entire episode is them trying to stare her down and the guitar slowly crawling out of her mouth. Like the freaking Silence of the Lambs. That. Just what? That is the craziest, creepiest gag, but I'm here for it. That's my favorite gag of the whole series. They couldn't handle Bocchi. She was too much. So they look at the menu, and as they're looking at the menu, they're trying to decide what to get. Let's see. And that's when Najika notices, hey, you look really good in this maid outfit. And Bocchi's like, yeah, I know. It's not really my style, though. And Kita's like, she does look cute. And then Rio's like, bands usually make a lot more money if they have really good-looking people. So what if we put you in a swimsuit? Or in all black taped outfit. And Bocchi's like, stop trying to sexualize and objectify me for the money, Rio. Although, she does look amazing in the bathing suit. She does look amazing in the black outfit. If I could pull it off, I would cosplay as her in the black outfit. That would be amazing. And she's like, just order what you want. And then, of course, Rio's like, can somebody spot me? So it's 500 yen for everything on the menu. And there's the Sure Pure Melt in Your Mouth Magic Omurice, the Unicorn Fantasy Dream Sparkle Shine Omurice, the Lie for You, Die for You Sickly Chic Omurice, the Bouncy Boingy Hype It Up Festival Mood Omurice, the Mega Squeeze Zingaling Lose My Mind Omurice, and Water's on the house. Free water is always appreciative, but I would probably want to get the Unicorn Fantasy, but if I knew it was Omurice, I'd probably get the Bouncy Boingy Hype It Up. I love that Bocchi's like, they're all the same. We spent all of our budget on costumes, so it's all the same thing. Just, you won't be disappointed. Just order the Omurice. And then she's supposed to put a spell on it for free, and Bocchi's like, this is my nightmare, and I hate it. So like, here's your special omi rice. I hope it's delicious. And then they are like, oh, it's grainy. And she's like, we bought them frozen. They didn't even make the omi rice. They bought them ahead of time. But then Kita uses her Sailor Moon-esque Kita aura, and then Rio can't help but gobble it up, right? The acidity of the ketchup and the sweetness of the sauce blend together. What did she say? They're giving it a soul-warming feel of home cooking. Kita just... I thought for a second that Kita was getting nervous and was maybe like... I'm curious to know what was up with Kita, because for a hot second, I thought Kita was getting sick. And I was like, oh, is Kita not going to be able to perform? And I thought that the cliffhanger of this episode was going to be Kita getting sick or something happening to Kita and them not knowing what to do. But that's not what ended up happening. But it did seem at one point like Kita was trying to tell Bocchi something. So I'm like, what was she trying to say to Bocchi? Are we going to get into that next week? I'm assuming we are, but... So yeah, Bocchi's friends, the band, all get in the maid costumes. It's super cute. I like Najika in the maid costume, although Rio in the butler outfit is perfect. Rio in the butler outfit looks like Sebastian from Black Butler. She does! And I love that Kita's like all about taking pictures, and Najika's like, isn't she getting a bit too excited? And no, Najika, no, Kita's getting the right amount of excited. I also love the guys from the post-apocalyptic like thing where they're like, hey, can we get some more water? And then we see Rio, and Rio's like, you want it? Come and get it. Like with the leg propped up and the knee. Girl, you're talking about making money for the band. Why aren't you dressing up, Rio? You could be doing the same. And then them like crawling to get her to like pour the water into the cup. Rio has her own inexplicable power. So yeah, they all like, Kita has her aura. Rio is intimidating. Najika is super social and gets everybody to come. Like Bocchi's bandmates all have their own skill set, but so does Bocchi. And it seems like for a second, Bocchi's like, this feels like a preview of tomorrow's concert. That they're all going to like overpower me with their aura. The difference in the reception. And I love that we go through the different styles of animation. There's like a pencil drawing and then CGI and claymation. And then the CGI version of her just crashes into like all the boxes. Like, what the fudge? It's like test animation. What? Girl, don't doubt yourself. So they sold out at the cafe. And they thank everybody for coming. And then Rio's like, you could pay us. And Najika's like, oh, come on, don't be that way. And she drags her away. And they go to the gym to see where they're setting up. And it's a pretty big gym, right? I don't know about holding 1,000 people, but it probably could hold several hundred. And I was afraid Bocchi was going to get super nervous, but she seems fine here. Everything seems good. So they go back and they start practicing, which again, I was super, I didn't see it coming because I thought that Bocchi was going to try to go home and record for her social media page. But I guess she's waiting till, like she said, after the concert. They try to get her to sell her dad's guitar, and I'm glad she brought up it's her dad's guitar. I'm wondering if she'll get a new one after this season. But Rio trying to like get her to pawn it is hilarious. So she does come back and say that my dad couldn't make it to the concert because of the storm, but he was pretty excited. So yeah, so we have the dad. Okay, the dad bought a camcorder. The mom's holding the box to it. And Bocchi's just standing there like, oh God, my dad. And he's videotaping like Jimmy Hen on Futari's head. And he's like, Five's in the house. Five's in the house. Bocchi's dad is her. Bocchi's dad is Bocchi. Like, the vibe that he's giving as he's, like, moving around with the camera. And then when he's in the gym and he's, like, shaking, being like, Bocchi! Bocchi gets her social awkwardness from her dad. That's literally it. Her mom and Futari get it from each other, but Bocchi gets it from her dad. She gets her genetic looks from her mom, but her attitude comes from her dad. I am convinced of it. Right? So, Kita says her friends are coming by. She's like, it's all the more reason for us to give our best. And they talk about what kind of emceeing should we do for the concert. And Kita's like, well, I don't know. Introduce the songs, introduce us, add a little commentary. And Najika's like, well, what we do now is fine, but I would love to do like a funny MC intro. And Rio has some problems with that. Rio's like, no, fans just laugh to humor NCs. Nobody likes that. So I kind of want to go with Rio on this one because humor is subjective and what you think is funny is not always perceived that way by the audience. And if it's not perceived as funny, it can be like a real mood dampener. So you kind of like, and you come to a concert not for a comedy show, just to hear the songs. So I think having just the generic introductions at a concert is fine because that's what people are there for. I'm like, I've been to concerts where they've spent way too much time in between songs, like doing banter with the bands and stuff. And I always feel like I'm standing there like I'm here to hear, I paid to hear the songs, like, let's go. And so I could get where Rio's coming from. But I also like the dynamic of this band that when Najika and Rio start to get into it, she's like, once we get popular, even your lousiest MC stuff will be a problem. And Bocchi's like, what do I do? And she's like, is that a reassurance or a diss? And I like that Kita steps in being like, hey, let's finish our practice. No arguing. So I like the balance that they have. Like, Bocchi is the rock. Roll credits. She's the foundation of the band. Najika and Rio, when they bicker, Kita is there to snap them back to reality. So, of course, we don't get to see the band practice because that would spoil next week's episode. But yeah, and we see Kita. She's like breathing kind of hard and sweating. And then she notices that Kita is like a little bit out of it. So I'm like, She says, Kita-san's kind of, I wonder if Kita's feeling sick, if that's going to happen tomorrow, or if Bocchi's going to call her out saying, like, she's gotten better, or I'm really curious as to what she's going to say about Kita's performance. But I guess we'll have to wait on that. So, yeah. So they all decide that they're like, we got this. We're going to do great. And then she's like, what does Kita say? She's like, I think you'll knock everyone's socks off. And she's like, oh, I doubt that. She's like, you totally will, because you're so amazingly... And then Kita kind of stops herself. She says, never mind. And Bocchi's like, okay. I wonder what Kita is thinking. Like, what is Kita going to say about her? I'm curious. I hope we get that next week because I want to know. I don't want that left unsaid before we leave off for season 2. I wonder if Kita knows she's Guitar Hero. Because she says, you're so amazingly talented. I wonder if Kita has figured out she's Guitar Hero. Like Najika has. I don't know. I hope we find out next week, but that little mystery is just like kind of embedded in there, right? So they say it's autumn, which it's crazy that all this time has passed. And Najika talks about how she wishes that they were working on like a mini album by now. And Rio's like, you were really having some high expectations right off the bat. And Kita's like, we're just getting started. But I like what Kita says is that, you know, we're making steady progress and that's all that matters. Yes, there are times where it's very easy to get like Najika and want like the instant, like, okay, we're on a roll, let's go, let's keep going, let's hustle, let's grind. But at the end of the day, I think what Kita is saying is the most important part, which it's like, okay, but you're still working towards your goal. As long as you're making steady progress, that's what's important. So yeah, and then we get back to Bocchi's room. I like she now, instead of her wall being plastered with pictures of all 4 of them, it's just the one. She's like, it's almost here. And she has the band shirt ready to go. Everything I thought was going to happen this episode to get in the way and be an obstacle of them performing did not happen. So I'm kind of amazed. I was not expecting it. So yeah, so we have the chorus club opening. I wanted to get on here. She says, my first performance in front of the school. And then I wanted to get like the whole set and everything. I guess we'll see that here in a second. But we have, we can see the setup with Najika and Seika. I like that their house is interesting because we've only seen the kitchen for their house up until this point. They have the kitchen, we can see. They have lots of plants, which is interesting. They have the black and white tile floors and the red couch. I like black and white with red accents. That's always a classic go-to. They have a lot of band equipment, which makes sense. They have some boxes that look like they're unopened, which gives it kind of like, it doesn't have a lived-in feel. It feels like they just moved their vibes. They have a whiteboard coon. Looking over at my whiteboard coon. They have their own whiteboard coon. What? Whiteboard coon, you cheating on me with Seika and Najika. And then you have Kita, who is like getting ready. I was expecting Kita to look like she was ill, but she looks perfectly fine. She has like the band poster of all of them. She has like all the flowers and everything hanging there. That might not be all of them in the band picture, but still. Oh, it's Rio's old band photo. Oh, Kita's been a fan of Rio since the old band days. Interesting. But yeah, and then she's holding like the festival, getting her moisturizer on. Rio is sitting there like listening to sheet music and listening to music. I like that the band poster behind her, it says suit loss. And it's 4 guys that are slowly undressing. Like the first guy in the one photo in the wheat field has like all of his clothes on. The second guy has his shirt off. The third guy has only his underwear on. And the fourth person is naked. And the band is called Suit Loss. That's amazing. That's actually amazing. I hope they enjoy us. Okay. And so then we have the next day at the school. When we see Bocchi like riding the train to go to the school to the concert, I could only think of March Comes In Like a Lion. It was reminding me of like Bocchi getting ready for like a shogi match or something. Like getting ready to go. I also like the fact that she stood instead of sitting down. So yeah, second day of the Culture Festival. There's all the glow sticks and everything. All the bands are getting set up. They've all got, you know, their band t-shirts on, ready to go. Okay. I wanted to say, and they're like, trust that it's going to go all right. All right. And then she's like, what if a records company producer is in the audience? I love he looks like he's from the 20s. It's great. And then he pulls off the hat and the coat, and he's got like the sweater wrapped around him, looking stereotypical with the fanny pack, and it's the guitar. Magnifique! You deserve a debut concert. I like in the band picture that they have, Bocchi's face is like the least expressive out of all of them. I also love the CGI semi with the guitar driving. Ridiculous. And they're like, she's in her own world, isn't she? So yeah, we have the 31st annual Shuka Festival gym stage time schedule. October 1st, yesterday, was the concert band opening at 10. Then at noon was the drama club performing Romeo and Juliet. Then there was the Manzai enthusiasts, Shuka, S1 Grand Prix at 4 o'clock. Then at 2 o'clock. And then at 4 o'clock, there was the volunteer Misainen no Maruhari until the teachers get mad at us. What? And then it was going to end by 5 o'clock. What is Mysin? What does that say? How do you say that? Misainen. I don't want to find Misainen no Maruhari. What is that? Oh, it looks like, I don't know what that is. Interesting. I don't know what that means exactly. Also, what was the one thing that they talked about? Manzai? What was Manzai? The Japanese tradition of Manzai. Oh, is it like the form of comedy? Oh, okay. I just started recording a show that's going to be on the channel this coming month, and I think I know what that is. So watch my July update video to see what I'm talking about. But yeah, there's a show I just started reacting to for the channel in July, and I think that Manzai is something that's mentioned there. So yeah, they were all just plays and drama performances on the first day. And then this day, we have 10 a.m., the Chorus Club opens. And then starting at noon, we have Hakumai Bakery, Alumican. So they're 30-minute sets. Chaos Eden. I like Chaos Eden. Kesoku Band, Miracle Love Romance, Churu Churu, and then Guidance Department, which is the staff band. Running out with the staff band. Yes. Come on, Guidance Department. Come on, Guidance Department. But yeah, Kesoku Band is a great name. I don't know. Chaos Eden's pretty good, though. Apparently they played covers, but... So yeah, and they're all getting ready to go. I mean, it is hard to follow up a band playing a hit song from the year before, but I like Rio's instantly judgmental. She's like, who uses glow sticks at a rock concert? That was great. But yeah, and they're like, I like that they all help each other. Like Najika's like, okay, deep breaths, Kita, we're good. Bocchi, you good? And Bocchi's like, yes. And I love Najika saying, 6 months ago. So it's been 6 months 6 months ago, she had to wear the mango box, and now she's facing it head on. Except, Bocchi is freaking out internally, but it's fine. She's come a long way. And so they do the huddle. I like Rio's hesitant. And they do the let's go have fun and play well. And then they go out there. I can't believe they're out there. I was not expecting them to already be out there for this performance. And then all Kita's friends are there. And then she sees her sister. She has her sister, her mom, and then her dad's got the recording cam and he's just shaking. Again, the dad is Bocchi. The dad is Bocchi. And then the fans are there. And then, of course, her classmates are there, looking like characters out of Puella Magica Magica. And then Hiroi is there, and she's had 3 sakes already. How Seika and her got to the front of the gym and how she's already been drinking alcohol on school grounds, I do not know. But yeah, Kakuri. Big sis Kaguri, I shouldn't have invited her. I love Seika's like, I have to like babysit this woman. This adult woman who's drunk in a school function. But yeah. And then Kita's like, all right, come see us at our club. We play. I hope it's good for y'all. And then here comes the first song. I love that there was a little moment at the beginning where it showed Bocchi's face. And then it showed the band studio where they practiced, the Starry Bar, showed Home with the Dog, her room with the door open with all of her posters and everything, and then her getting ready to go. Oh. I can't believe how far our bean has gone. Now, will they have turmoil next episode? Will it be fraught with controversy? Will there be hurdles, or will they have a good performance and then it'll just be the aftermath? Will people recognize her as Guitar Hero? Will Kita recognize her as Guitar Hero? Does she already know? Does Rio know? Najika knows. Will Bocchi's secret come out as she's performing on stage? We don't know. But next week is the season finale, and I cannot believe it. I'm excited we have a season 2. That's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm really looking forward to it. But yeah, I'm going to do my best to cosplay next week for y'all since I've got the wig already. I've got the wig. I've got a red shirt and a jacket. Might as well cosplay as Rio, but we'll get on that next week. So, But anyway, this series has been so much fun and I have loved it. And I cannot wait to talk about next week's episode with you all. So anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care, and I'm excited to hear your comments down below, and I will be back very soon with more of Bocchi the Rock. Bye!